Hello, beautiful. Welcome to this week's show. I'm Christy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome. We're so glad to see you and have you here with us. We're a group of psychics and spiritual mediums coming together to help everyone awaken and align with their higher self and soul's purpose while lifting up humanity. This week, we have a few announcements to make. We have a little bit of adjustments on the show, and then we're going to explore all the love of the heart chakra today. So, yay. Con, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, so we've had a bit of a lineup change. Our beautiful partner in crime, Desiree, she is growing and she's gotten a job in an industry that she's wanted to for a bit, working with plants and nature. And she's going to be doing that. So she's going to be tuning in. She's probably listening to us right now. We do have a special message from Desiree that we're going to be playing in a short little bit. But first, I want to welcome Doc Singh, who is joining us to fill in Desiree's spot. And Doc is here as a regular. So Doc, welcome to the family. Anything you want to share with us?
Thank you very much. It's a real privilege to be invited to this group and an honor to be asked to fill Desiree's place. I have a very high regard for all the panelists, but especially Desiree, who's really gifted medium and channeler, and I hope to do my best to follow in her wake. Just in case you're wondering, I use the name Doc Singh as it's easy to remember than my full name, but I am actually a medical doctor and my middle name is Singh, so you can perhaps understand the logic. A little bit about my background. In my past life, I had a very busy professional job and working at very senior levels in the health service. But my wife, who is a yoga teacher, and through her practice of meditation, started to awaken about 15 years ago. I was extremely skeptical about this, but however, as she started a channel, it became obvious to me that there was something significant going on. I started to awaken after a series of incidences, which I won't bore you with. But basically, I became increasingly aware of this alternative reality, and as time has gone by through other life changes, I felt that I wanted to learn about channeling and mediumship. And so I went on a course with William Michael Forbes, and some of our colleagues here have done so as well. And this completely changed my thinking in such that I began to feel rather than to think. I started to go with the flow rather than plan. And moreover, trust my intuition rather than use my logic, which had served me so well for all my life. In and amongst this, I've been supported by many, including colleagues here on this panel, as well as my fabulous spiritual team and my higher self in particular. Just to give you a little bit of background, we now live in a farm in a forest high up in the hills in Wales, in England, in the UK. And we're in the process of starting a retreat, which will include yoga, sensory forest walks and meditation. And in particular, we would like to use channeling and mediumship to help people through difficult stages in their lives. And for me, particularly, as an ex-hospice doctor, I'm keen to provide support to people who are terminally ill and helping their families from a spiritual perspective during this time. I also do guided meditations to reduce anger and anxiety, etc. Anyway, that's enough of me. I hope that gives us a thumbnail sketch of who I am. And I'm happy to join the group. Over to you.
Hopefully get some discounts at your retreat.
Wonderful. Thank you, Doc. Yeah. So as we said before, Desiree left us with a beautiful video. So let's have a look.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to say thank you to Con, Yelly, Martine, Rachel, and Christy. I had such an amazing time with you guys. And I know this isn't the end of our journey. All right. Doc, welcome aboard. You're going to have so much fun. Again, thank you guys for all you do. And to the rest of my soul family, I love each and every one of you. All right. I will be tuning in behind the scenes and joining you guys. All right. This isn't a goodbye. This is more like a see you later. And thank you for all your support and love. All right. I love each and every one of you, and have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys later. Bye. Mwah.
I'm all squishy after that. It feels so
That's
good.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Right?
So nice.
I love my Desiree.
I know. Everybody's going to miss Dee.
Now she's
All right.
still doing her lives though, so she's still going to be posting. But now it's I think it like 5:55 or like 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. She's doing her Monday and Friday.
Yeah,
Her weekly
5:15, I believe. 5:15.
5:15.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
something. It was very early.
Yeah, very early. Yeah, sorry, Chrissy. Go ahead.
It's okay. All right. Today, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the heart chakra. And first, I want to give a little bit of history on the chakras because I don't think but we've done that, have we? Have we did any kind of background history on the chakras? I didn't think we had. Okay, so I did a little research, and the system originated in India between 1500 and 500 BC, and this comes from the Veda texts. And some people believe it's been around a lot longer than that. So, and the chakras come from the earliest traditions of the Hindu and the Tantric Buddhist practice. And Tantric means basically experiencing the truth and reality of oneself and the world. So I'm trying to break down some of these things that we hear a lot, but we don't really know exactly what it means. So
Exactly.
I took the time to look up these little words that they put in there so that I could like fill in some spaces.
Perfect.
Okay, and the chakra on the human body is a spinning ball of energy, and it runs along the spinal column up and down. And I like to imagine them as big balls that just a complete circle around the body. At first, in my mind, when I started meditation and was imagining chakras in my mind, I was just like this little, like a little tiny, just like a little like different energy center. But I always imagined it little. But as I expanded and my mind expanded, then my imagination of the chakras all expanded with me. So now all of my chakras, I imagine them to be big and connected. So it's almost like one big tube of rainbow colors that are just like surrounding this way, my body. So, and that's a good way to feel like full and connected with your chakras also. And your chakras always also spin, and they spin faster if your frequency is higher. So when you're feeling uplifted and elevated and happy, and then your chakras are they're doing this. And so when we slow down, they slow down. So it moves with your body. Okay, and the Sanskrit is a language in India, and each of the chakras have, like the heart chakra has a Sanskrit name, and it is Anahata, Anahata. That actually means unhurt. And Yeli has a picture of the heart chakra, and I'm going to ask him to pull that up now, and I'll talk a little bit about that. The heart chakra is actually located at the center of the chest. It's right above the heart, and it carries feminine energy. It's symbolized by a green 6-pointed star with a 12-petaled flower. And the 6-pointed star is 2 intersecting triangles. If you see, one is upright and one is pointing toward the ground. And this represents the union of the male and female energies and the meeting point of matter and spirit. The 12-petaled lotus that you see around the outside represents the 12 divine qualities of the heart. And that includes delight, peace, harmony, love, understanding, fellowship, clarity, purity, unity, compassion, kindness, and forgiveness. The heart chakra, the foods that go along with the heart chakra is usually just green foods like kale, broccoli, celery, even kiwi. mostly any kind of green food. You can even like wear green clothes and have a green collar. So, and that will help connect with the heart chakra. Some body parts that it affects is your thymus, the lungs, your heart, your hands, and your arms. The planet is Venus. The goddess, now I've seen a few different things on this for God and goddesses for the heart. Kuan Yin was one that I came across. Also, a goddess is Shakti, that to raise the Shakti energy is Kakini, the goddess Kakini, and the god Rudra. So I hadn't heard of those. I don't know about you guys.
Nope.
Have you heard of those?
Never heard of it.
Across it, I was like, I don't know, but I didn't research who they were or anything, but that's what I came across for that.
Awesome.
And something else that I didn't realize, the animal is deer and antelope. And it said that because they are the calmness of that animal is why it represents with the heart chakra. And I thought that was quite interesting. If your heart chakra is out of balance, you'll have a tense energy in your upper torso area, and you'll sit like this a lot with your arms crossed and kind of like, just kind of closed down. You're closed up and not like you're just kind of Some physical ailments is asthma, respiratory problems because it deals directly with the lungs. Upper back or shoulder problems like pain in your shoulders or upper back, and also arm or wrist pain could be a blocked heart chakra. If your heart chakra is balanced, you'll feel joy, gratitude, love, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, acceptance, and you'll also feel deeply connected when you have an open heart chakra. And last but not least, balancing the heart chakra, some things that you can do, your breath, your breathing, that we did some last week. And there's several different types of breathing that you can do. And of course, it helps balance your heart chakra because of its direct relation with the lungs. And another thing you can do is appreciate the beauty in everything. You feel it, feel the beauty. That's what I say. You feel it. You don't just see it and look at it and like let it be there. Another thing is love your body. Tell yourself, I love you. Look in the mirror. I love you. And tell your body, your different body parts. Also, don't forget self-compassion and acceptance of yourself. A lot of times, being empaths, like most of us are, we always worry about everything else and everyone else and want to make sure they are happy, and we forget about us sometimes, or a lot of times probably. So so I have to remind myself, because I am one of those people that I'm a people pleaser and I want to help everybody, and I'll find myself exhausted and wore out, and I'm just like, what is going on? And I'm just like giving too much of myself, and I forget, until I'm like at that point. You guys do that too?
Yep. Absolutely.
It's definitely a practice for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is, because we've been so conditioned. Our routines basically flips upside down once you awaken, because everything that you've been trained to do and have done your entire life is going to be different. So you have to adjust to that.
Sorry to cut you off, but you guys found that you become more heart-centered since you've been doing this work?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's such a more pleasing place to be, in that place of love, and even just talking to the body and all that. I mean, for me, it's a regular practice. I'm continually talking to the body, but it is such a difference, and you can feel the body change after And who squirmed after doing mirror work?
Oh gosh, I think we all do.
Yeah.
So those that don't know, mirror work is, you look in the mirror, you look in your eyes, and you say that I love you, and you say, I love you, I appreciate you, you are beautiful, and you just say these things as you look at yourself in the mirror. And initially, when you first do it, it's very awkward and squirmy.
It's very hard. It's a lot harder than, when I first did it. I mean, now I'm just like, good morning, I love you. But I mean, I remember being like, oh my gosh, really? I love you. It's just like, it's not, it don't feel,
No.
it don't feel natural because, you just get used to beating yourself up all the time or just feeling negativity or that not worthiness. And it really is, you look in your own eyes and you're just like, wow, it really makes a difference.
Yeah. So what was the life changer for y'all for waking up, like to begin loving yourself?
So for me, it's been like all about self-acceptance. That's been a life changer. It's just like, I can accept myself. I can love myself. I can be myself. No judgment on me. I can make mistakes. That's okay. I'm learning. I'm growing. I can hold space for others to make mistakes. That's okay. It's not anything personal. It's not against me. It's their learning, they're growing. So really that's just been the life changer for me, is just being able to just accept and allow, and don't judge, just stop judging. And, you can see clearer what's actually the truth of what's happening when you take that place and you stay calmer. It's easier to stay calmer. It's easier to handle stress. Like, you handle things better, and you just project a better energy. And that in and of itself helps everything to kind of stay calm and for you to stay in that loving place. So
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's funny that you mentioned staying calm. So like I said earlier, my neighbors are doing their roof, and there's a huge amount of banging and whatnot. But of course, I'm doing my meditations. I'm stretching whenever, and I didn't even realize that it was happening on, because I was very much in the present moment within myself, and it's just kind of happened naturally, I guess. So it's nice to kind of practice that heart coherence, that heart loving. Yeah. How about you, Doc? What was your awakening when you started to love your body?
I have to say it's work in progress. It's sort of getting there. It's taken a while because I'm sure, like many people, and I have to say probably men, you just jump out of bed and get on with stuff. You don't sit there, you don't have a morning routine, and I don't moisturize much. But anyway, that's a long story. But the thing is that it just takes a while, and I'm getting there slowly. But the idea of non-judgment is something which I think is very important. And it's becoming more a matter of course for me during my everyday existence. But more importantly, the last bit I've forgotten to remember was to be non-judgmental to myself, which is, as I said, work in progress.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I guess we're going to wrap around back to Yelly and Christy. How about you, Yelly?
Yeah, it's definitely shifted, but it's still a little bit of work. Still, the self-acceptance is a very big part, So, yeah, it's still work in progress, but it's definitely already changed a lot from what it used to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think once I saw my body as a child, and said this body is a 5-year-old child, and I want to treat it that way, like a pet. I don't have kids, but I want to, it's a pet to me as a child. It's like, I'm so kind to animals and pets. Oh, why am I not kind to myself? And parents are very kind to their children. So then when you started that conversation and talking to the body that way as a child, it really is only goes up to the age of 5, and then it's that mentality level. So it's treated that way. It made a huge difference in how I treated myself and my body. Yeah. Back to you, Christy.
Okay. I think another thing was practicing forgiveness, especially that stuff that we inherited from our families and maybe past lives. And so that was, I think that was a difficult step for me. But being able to have self-compassion and accept my body has has been, I think, difficult because just how my life has been, and how I was raised and brought up and that type of thing. And it's just a lot has turned around for me, or is turning around. Different habits that I've let go of or changing and that type of thing. So, and another big one is gratitude. So, and a lot of things we don't appreciate until we don't have them. And so, if, like, for instance, when I was on the road for a while and sleeping in the tent, and I really appreciated having hot running water and a bed to sleep in with blankets and a nice pillow. It's just like I had so much gratitude for that. Once I came back, it was just like, wow, I'm so grateful for this. And when I have it every day now, I feel myself now. I'm like, you're not as grateful as you should be, because I haven't gone without it for a while. But if you go without running water, or you go without having a nice bed to sleep in, or anything like that, because we are very spoiled. Yes. I mean, we're so spoiled, but I'm grateful. I try to reflect and be grateful on that, and I recommend others really think about the simple things that we don't really even think about very much, and appreciate those things, because those will really change your perspective.
That's
absolutely.
I had a very interesting discussion before we moved into our place. I met this chap who lived in the forest, and I asked him two questions. What is it you know now that you wish you'd known before? And what's the most important piece of kit you've got? And his stock answer was, you can never have too much insulation because it's in the middle of a mountain. And the second thing, his most important piece of kit was his washing machine. Basically, he said, so he has a little diesel engine that runs this washing machine. The washing machine says, well, I've got to walk up this hill with a bag of clothes, get into town, wash it, bring it back as a heavy bag of wet clothes, and then dry it here. He said it's a nightmare. But it's sometimes you have to see things in other people's shoes to really, really think about what matters. And it's just one of those things, and I'll never forget that, because it made a big difference.
Wonderful.
That's beautiful. Now, Chrissy, you're talking about some of the items you can use. Does anyone know about like things like the essential oils to add in here?
Oh, yes, I do have that. Let's see. Some essential oils: bergamot, jasmine, geranium, lavender, cypress, and rose. And also gemstones. I've got some rose quartz, amazonite, emerald, malachite, peridot, jade.
Interesting.
Wonderful.
Interesting. And so I noticed some of the common addictions to people that are lacking in the heart center, need to work on their heart, addictions to cigarettes, marijuana, caretaking, and relationships. Very common for heart.
Caretaking, like an addiction to taking care of others? Is that what that means?
Yeah. So instead of loving yourself, you're loving others as much as you can. And it's almost like a placeholder to loving yourself. You just love other people.
Well, that's interesting.
I've seen that. I've seen people like that. I've know people in my family like that. It becomes like an unhealthy, like, dependency, like almost codependency. Like you're helping somebody else, but you're not helping yourself. Like it's a distraction almost to make you feel like you're, you have this purpose, and it makes you feel good in a way, and you're helping the other person. But then it becomes to the point where, are you really helping the other person? And that there can be like that codependency that comes out of that too, depending on that relationship. But
I guess it's like a house cleaner that cleans other people's houses, but secretly they're a hoarder.
Yes.
That's a good analogy.
I've seen it to a certain degree with a very close relative who has an only child, and long story short, it's really hard for them to let go, and they're always constantly doing stuff for the only child, who is trying to spread her wings, but actually that care is actually disabling and not enabling. And it's a hard call if it's your only child, and so on and so forth. But on the other hand, it's letting go. It's just letting them carry on and do their own thing, and giving them that freedom to do so.
Yeah, and could that actually step into, let's say, caring for your child in a different way? So instead of giving your child the tools that they need to survive or succeed, that you end up just doting on them maybe a little bit too long, or doing too many things for them, so they can't really be pushed out of the nest in a sense, even like just breastfeeding for a very long time, and not necessarily detaching and separating. Now, I really know nothing about it, so I'm not here to offend anybody, but just some of the thoughts that kind of came to my mind.
Con, you're on dangerous ground here. You're on dangerous ground. Let's move on swiftly. Something else, but
well, I'll just transition that into from a psychological perspective. Adolescence, there's certain stages of development where certain things are considered healthy, and then certain things are not. So in the early stages, like breastfeeding, attachment is considered a healthy thing, because it builds that bond, it builds that trust in that relationship. But in early adolescence, that's when you would want to start thinking about, or adolescence and teenage years, that's when you want to start giving your child the tools to then become independent. And as a parent, you need to be able to be in tune with your child and their development. So you want to know intuitively, when they're ready to take on more tasks, and you want to always be teaching them, always be showing them, even when they're young, because my children are ages 2 to 6, but at that age, they're very open to learning. They're very curious about everything. They want to know how everything works. So that's a good stage to start introducing them to how to do things for themselves, but you're not necessarily expecting them to be independent, but then as they get older, that transitions into a little bit more freedom, a little bit more independence, less supervision, and so on, based on what they can handle individually as well. And so it is about kind of staying tuned and staying connected, but also being able to see what's best for the child. So that's what's hard for some parents, is it's hard to separate that. It's you see them as your baby, and you've always taken care of them. And if you get too attached to that aspect of them, then you might have a hard time letting go, letting them spread their wings, like Doc was saying. And it is challenging. And I definitely feel for parents in that position. And I can see that would be challenging for myself, even as my children grow older, it's just hard to see them change, and you're oh, you're not that person anymore, but they're always changing and growing and becoming new people. So that's where it can kind of get off track a little bit if you don't let them get that independence, and they don't get that confidence in themselves, and that can develop into other problems, and even resentment towards the parents for not letting them have the freedom that they desire. It's difficult.
It's even harder when the child has special needs of sorts, because your role as a carer is amplified or cranked up even more, and therein lies the conundrum that when you have to let go, it's even harder. But it's all part of the same thing, but just a more extreme version of that spectrum. So.
One way that helps me to look at it is they're their own soul. They came in consciously. They chose you as their caregiver, their parent, and but we are not here to it's a free will. You know what I mean? They're here to learn their own lessons. They're here to have their own challenges, and it might be hard to watch, them struggle sometimes. And we would be there to guide them and support them as much as we can. We're really here to hold space, and but they're here to be their own person, and that might look very different from what we as parents imagine them to be. We have to honor who they actually are and what they are here to teach us. And that's one thing that I've channeled a lot from my angels, is just kids are here to teach us lessons too. Like they're here to show us the way back to purity, back to innocence, back to like our playful side, which a lot of us lose like as we get older and we get like into the system of things. So that's another thing. Like we're here to learn from each other. So it's like a two-way process. Like what is my child teaching me, or what is the lesson here that I can learn? What maybe do I need to shift my perspective on to help this, to create this, the right environment for us both to grow and thrive.
Yeah, and that's a good way to help open your heart chakra, is to have that connection with children and to learn that carefree spirit. It brings it right back to what we're talking about, the heart chakra, and how they're already totally open and expanded as children. And if we can nurture that and keep that open, it bounces right back to us. And so, Jelly, did you have something to say?
No, I just wanted to say to chat, everybody watching, we're going to open the Q&A. So if there's somebody who would like to ask something or has something to share, considering what we're talking about right now, please do so, and I'll put it up on the screen. So continue.
Okay, Yelly, I have a few more things I'd like to go over that I hadn't covered yet on the heart chakra. And the element is air, and the heart frequency is 639 hertz. The mantra is I love. And the symbol in the middle of that picture that Yele pulled up it means yam. And that is the sound that goes with, the symbol in the middle. It's called a seed mantra, and it is pronounced yam, Y-A-M. And that's something you can chant to help balance the heart chakra. It'd be something like yum.
Now, do you think that matches like the frequency that you mentioned? That because it sounds like when you did the yum, I could feel it in my heart. Is that?
Yes. Yes.
Very cool.
I do. I have the frequency enhancer on my phone, like you had talked about. I wonder if we pulled it up, if it would. I'm kind of curious now. Let me to see how close it is to the yam, but I bet it is. Let's see, 6.
What did you say the frequency was?
639.
Yeah, I got it here. Yeah, I'm just going to play it. Let me know if you guys can hear this okay.
A little bit of feedback.
I'm going to stop it. There we go. I don't know if I said if I felt that in the heart. I'd say the yam, when you did the yam, I felt that in my heart.
I felt that more too.
Yeah, then playing the frequency at 639.
639 feels a little high pitched.
Yeah, and that was something that that I was doing previously. Is that the frequency that's kind of set is kind of like a guideline, but everyone's different because our bodies change frequency as well.
Right.
As you go through the frequencies and adjust it, you need to feel it in the body and shift it. So if you want to work on any of your chakras or clairs, that you actually change the frequency until it hits that point, and that's what's right for you. So it's not really a blanket set all. I think it changes, especially as we evolve in our bodies, it changes. And for those of us going through awakenings and ascensions, I mean, we've been going through ascension symptoms for quite some time, and our bodies have been adjusting. And as we open up, our frequencies are increasing as well. So that definitely goes in line with that, because that definitely did not resonate with me at all.
Yeah, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't feel it either. But I didn't check it until you said something. If I had checked it, when I went over this, I just kind of wrote it down and didn't even pull up the frequency and listen to it myself until just now.
But that would be that it's probably written in all the material out there, and that's probably our lesson to learn. We can read all you want and watch somebody walking the path, but the real path to enlightenment is to walk it. It's not to watch somebody or hear somebody say, "This is what I did. I made a left and then I right. I walked 20 feet and I fell down this hole." And you gotta be able to experience that instead of hearing it from somebody else.
Yeah, that's so true.
Absolutely.
Has anyone else noticed that now that we've been kind of walking the path for a bit, that it makes a difference?
Yes.
Rather like from what we've learned and studied?
Yeah, I'm less reliant on others to teach me anything. I just kind of, it's like experiential learning is how I view it. I learn through my own experience, and then I can tell like if it's resonating or not resonating, or I think once you connect more to your body and your own awareness, your own higher awareness, and your own ability to discern through your heart and your intuition what is right or wrong for you. And then again, it goes back to that no judgment. So there's really no judgment because there's no right or wrong. And that's what I realized. The angels kept telling me that a lot in the beginning. And then I finally, it's like part of my programming now. It's like, there's no judgment. There's no right or wrong. Like, it's like you're all on your own path. You're all evolving. And one thing that came to mind when you said that about like, you were giving the analogy of like, okay, you take 20 steps forward and then you fall down the hole and then you turn left and then okay. So there was an analogy that one of my teachers, I was taking a class called Psychology of Religion as I was in the early stages of awakening. And one thing he said really held true to me. And it was, there are many paths up the mountain, but they all lead to the top. But it doesn't really matter like which path you take. You're going to get to the top eventually. You just keep going. So it's like, you can argue over like which path is right and which one is wrong, but they all lead to the same place eventually. So
yeah, so true. And a lot of people forget that. They get stuck on their own I'm right, you're wrong kind of thing. And it's not, and that really hangs people up a lot. I've noticed. It's like they are so stuck in their beliefs that it's a block for them, because it ends up being a block for them because they can't see beyond that.
Yeah, and they can't accept others who have a difference of point of view. So they're missing that connection, that heart connection that they could have with others who may have a different point of view, but you can still connect from a heart level with those people too, if you're willing to just accept them and move past that, like, part of it, and just see through the universal truth of like what you do share, which is you share human emotion, you share the ability to feel, you share the ability to connect, you share the ability to play and enjoy life, regardless of what your perspective is. So yeah. Yeah,
I know my wife and I, we've had two different journeys because she's a traditional holistic, traditional Chinese acupuncturist and a registered holistic nutritionist. So she has always been that path with food, but also she's used a lot of Eckhart Tolle, whereas my path was through martial arts. So we both went on our different paths about getting there, but we really are at the same level. And then I went into meditation, and meditation isn't her thing. So you're absolutely right. And we have our own paths and they all lead to the mountain as long as you're doing the work that resonates with you most. Yeah. I saw Grace put up, she had a frequency of 528. You guys want to hear that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So she said,
I've got it pulled up too.
Yeah. So 5, I'm going to hold this up now.
Yeah, that's what I usually listen to as well.
To me, that actually feels more in the heart. Yeah, that's great, Grace. 528 definitely resonates in my heart. How about you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. I actually thought that it was 528. So when you said 6, was it 39? I was like, I thought it was 528, but
yeah, 528 is the love frequency.
Okay.
This is just one place on the internet that I found that. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
And Wendy is saying, I found some vocal tones that resonate a perfect frequency in my body and some mechanical tones that have been a hit or miss. I like tuning forks as well.
I think if I can just mention, if you can imagine an orchestra with different instruments playing the same note, the shape and sound will differ according to the instruments, whether they are plucked or blown or whatever. And when you play a single tone, it's just that one tone. However, with our bodies and also with the way we say things, it does shift the way in which that tone is projected. So there'll be other overtones and so on. So everyone, as you say, is different, and it's just trying to find the one that resonates with you, which is the key thing. Maybe not now, but at some stage, if you want to dissect out, for example, the word Om, there are a number of different tones in there which will come out, which, as you say it actually affects different parts of your body and your different chakras as well. But it's the same thing, but it's just whatever works for you, which is the key.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Kaan, I've actually received acupuncture for opening and balancing chakras too, says Amy Hitter.
Yeah, that's great. And that Amy brings up a good point. Leading into is that there's so many ways that you can open up your chakras. Because I know I've done use the pendulum, and a lot of people have done Reiki, acupuncture, meditation. What are some other ways? Crystals?
I found just being around animals, certain animals, horses. So you were talking about deer and antelope having the frequency of the heart chakra. I found that interesting because I would add horses to that as well. They're very heart connected, heart centered, and there is research being done and has been done through the Heart Math Institute with equine assisted therapy. So they find that horses electromagnetic, so the heart puts out an electromagnetic field. We that our hearts do that, but all animals' hearts do that too. And a horse's heart field goes 30 feet. It's very, very, very broad and wide.
Wow.
So just standing within that range, just horses being humans being in the presence of horses, not even necessarily having to interact with them, but just standing within that field. Horses are in a natural state of coherence at all times. So they're when you measure their heart variability rate, it's in a natural state of coherence is what ideally you would want to be in. So when you stand within their field, the studies show that your heart rate will get entrainment, it's called, where it will get into that coherent state naturally. And that's why horses are used in therapy so much, because they do help you connect. And I feel open your heart chakra, because, there's just as a psychologist who's been trained in that field of working with horses to facilitate healing with humans, I've seen and had my own experiences with horses just connect to a human in a way that a person cannot. It's like they can read their energy field, and they can break through barriers. And there's a lot of cathartic moments and healing moments that the horses really hold space for humans to have that. And I really feel that's part of their divine mission on earth, is to help us connect to the divine feminine, and to bring that energy back to earth, so we can become more balanced in our life, living states, or in our lifestyles. But yeah, so for me, that's another thing I wanted to add.
That makes me think of something too. There's something called a heart hug, and a lot of people, when you hug somebody, you automatically go to their right shoulder, like your head will go to their right shoulder. But a heart hug is where your head goes toward their left shoulder, which is putting your heart where they are connected. And you can hug this person for a few minutes. If you, I think it's just a minute or so, and your hearts will actually start beating together. And that's why it's called a heart hug. So this is very helpful, especially if you have a child that's having a tantrum, and you need to calm them down. And if you could just hug them with a heart hug and just like breathe slowly and let them feel your heart being calm, it'll automatically calm them down too. And it works well with adults too. You know, people get upset or are grieving or anything, and if you give them a heart hug and just hold it, you know, people might feel a little uncomfortable at first and kind of like be like trying to pull away from you, and because they're not used to long hugs. Most people aren't. I mean, if they're around me, they are, because I always do that. But and another thing that you gotta like dodge their head to make them hug you in that direction, because we're automatically trained to go the opposite direction, and I think that is for a reason to where we don't heart connect very much. So I make it a point when I do hug someone to do a heart hug every time. And I give a nice good squeeze, and I'm always smiling real big and like breathing real slow. And everybody's like, I just love your hugs. But that's why, because I send them so much love with my hugs. And I feel that's something we all can do, to send out that love to everybody, just like the horses do. I mean, we do it too. And so if you hug people a lot, like I do, then they will see it or feel it. They'll feel a difference. So
Okay, I want a Christy hug. Yeah. I'm next.
I want to hug all of you.
I love that you're putting your head on the left side. Yeah, you're right, because it typically is to the right, but it should be the left, so that we're matching the heart to heart. I love that.
Alyssa is saying, we speak of walking different paths up the mountain. I am walking a metaphysical path, and the rest of my family is not on the same path. Speaking your truth, it's like coming out of the closet.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So
We've
true.
all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so true. I think we all resonate with that, Alyssa.
Yeah, we've all been coming out of our comfort zone and exposing ourselves on camera bit by bit. When we first kind of awoken, there was no way that we would be doing what we're doing now, and that was the process. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it's also, on a personal note, I'm bearing in my profession. If I told my friends I was hearing voices, then all sorts of other little bells start ringing. And so, you know, you have to be really careful how you pitch this, otherwise it could be very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And especially your industry is it's allopathic. It's very much about within the five senses. It's within the body. It's definitely not out, because the science just isn't there. It's catching up now, but it's considered metaphysical. It's not really part of mainstream thinking.
Yeah, I have to say that's what I loved about being. My specialty is is in a different area, but I also worked in hospices, and in hospices you see all sorts of alternative approaches to care, including use of sounds, including use of animals, and all sorts of things. And it's when you see the effect and you realise that we've been blindsided by, for example, the pharmaceutical industry, the various specialties are keen on maintaining their power and control. That places like hospices are really wonderful test tubes to try different things and to see the effect. And so it's a real blessing. And I love the idea of horses in hospices. I think it's great. It's really good.
Yeah, and they're using more animals in hospice as well. Like, you know, the dog therapy, even in the long-term care facilities, bringing that. There's so much love from animals.
I've seen it also used very powerfully with people with learning disabilities and also people with dementia as well.
Yeah,
they can connect when other modalities don't work, basically.
Yeah, and that leads to dolphins as well, because I've seen that with a lot of using dolphin therapy, because dolphins are, we all know dolphins are just love as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if the heart path is doing anything on dolphins too.
Yeah, and whales. Whales is a big. I've always heard the whale frequency is like the main frequency. It's like right there with the Earth frequency. It's just they are so connected.
Hey, so I see what Alyssa just wrote there. My son is 4. He needs to rebalance the heart piece. So I've been doing the heart coherence. I've been doing the 1 billion strong, the heart breathing, twice a day at 12 noon and 12 midnight, as many of you know. And I've been doing that for quite some time, but I've now brought it to online, which is following William Michael Forbes' 1 billion strong. But that goes in line with the heart coherence, or heartmath.com, which is the Heart Math Institute. And they have a lot of scientific research that when you just simply breathe into your heart and do some meditation, the heart goes into a sign pattern, a perfect sign of peaks and valleys. And stress levels go down, anxiety goes down, and love and compassion and all the other great things kind of go up. I know a lot of people that have been doing it with me have been experiencing this as well. But when you do this with kids, so a lot of people have been saying, I've been doing it with my kids and they have ADHD or they're just not speaking or they're nonverbal. But when they do the heart coherence and they just do the breathing with me on the meditations, and it's just this, you don't need me, you just breathe into your heart. And then once you find a bit of a rhythm, you bring in elevated emotions such as love, gratitude, appreciation, freedom. You hold that in your heart just for a few minutes, and it makes such a big difference within your body. The 1 billion strong then takes that a step further, where you then emanate that to the world and hold all the inhabitants in that frequency of love. And that is raising the global vibrations. So you read in the news where you have all these solar flares coming in, and all the doom and gloom is saying that the internet is supposed to be wiped out and all these negative effects are supposed to be happening. But the result of all of us being coherent and giving love back to Earth and back to Gaia, this is warding off the negative effects of the solar flares. So it really is showing that we are, and it's baffling scientists. It's like, I don't understand it. This is really should be what's happening to us. And the power of what we have in intention is so very strong. So I really encourage everyone to start doing the heart coherence and I'm still working at, William and I are trying to connect StreamYard to the 1 billion strong YouTube. So we're just having some technical difficulties back and forth, like many of us did on this channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the solar flares. I'm always talking about them myself because they affect me. I'm very sensitive to them, which they affect all of us. Some people notice it, some people don't. And I'm one that really, really notices it.
Is it in a way of getting tired instantly? Like
they're different. Sometimes it's tiredness, and sometimes it's a lot of energy. So I think it depends on the frequency at which they are coming in, because they come in at different frequencies as well. And so, and the heart chakra, it acts as a bridge between earth and spirit. So when you were talking about the frequencies, the solar flares that are coming in, a lot of us are open to that and know that, and are bringing it into our bodies and pretty much kind of transmuting that back out. And so that's why it's baffling the scientists, because they expect to just come into the earth and to the atmosphere and to do the damage that they usually see. Normally it affects ham radios and CBs channels and that frequency and stuff like that. But the bodies now are able to transmute that energy a little better. And so it's causing a change in how the reactions are occurring. And so they're like, what's going on? They don't get it because they're so in that scientific area of it, looking for, instead of the quantum field, they're not looking into the quantum. They're just thinking materialistic matter, what can they see? And they're not seeing it. And so it's making them confused about it.
Absolutely. So I think now it's time for 5 minutes of meditation to bring in Paul the Venetian and Lady Nada, who is doing the meditation.
So who's Paul the Venetian and Lady Nada? What's just the brief thing? I know, I think this was Rachel, you just had Lady Nada on.
Both of them, actually.
You did? Oh, So maybe you can just give us like a quick little thing on them both. And
Yeah. So Lady Nada and Paul Venetian all are part of the pink ray, which is it's like the heart chakra. They're so the pink ray is like the frequency, the color pink. Lady Nada is really known for working with the heart chakra. So her symbol is the pink rose as well, which when I channel her, I often see clairvoyantly like a heart with a pink rose on it. She works with like helping to peel back the layers of the heart chakra. So a lot of people who are working with the heart chakra will meditate with her and meditate with that color ray. And then Paul the Venetian is the same. He's also works with the pink ray. I don't know as much about him, but he was an artist when he was alive on earth. He's an ascended master. Lady Nada is also an ascended master, but she is also a soul aspect of Mary Magdalene. So they are different aspects of the same soul. So they both have that Christ consciousness, that Christ light as well. And yeah, Paul the Venetian is also related to the Venetians, as in the Venus. So the Venus planet, the Venetians, that race of intergalactic beings he's kind of from there. So that's also the planet of love. Yes. And so he also shares that symbol on him as well, that pink rose for the heart chakra. And the green even too. I've seen him come in very similar like that to me, clairvoyantly. So
beautiful. Wonderful. I love that.
All right. Let's see. So are we going to do a 5-minute meditation?
Yeah, we can do that. You guys want me to lead that?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And then bring in Paul the Venetian and Lady Nada.
All right, get comfortable. Get you a drink of water if you have water available. All right, I want you to just relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Breath out. Deep breath in. Breath out. Asking for Lady Nada and Paul the Venetian to come forward. Asking that our higher selves are open to these ascended masters. Asking Lady Nada and Paul the Venetian to come a little closer. And just breathe. Take a moment to feel what their energy feels like, both inside and around your body. And let's ask them to come a little closer. You can bring them in as close as you are comfortable with. I'm going to ask them to come a little closer. If it's too close for you, you can ask for them to back off, or you can bring them closer if needed. We're going to focus our attention on our heart chakra and breathe in to the heart chakra. And breathe out any stresses or tightness in the body and just relax as you breathe out. And breathe back into the heart chakra. Bring in the energy of Lady Nada and Paul the Venetian. And hold it there in the heart chakra. And when you breathe out, spread that energy out around you. Breathe normal and just feel the energy of these ascended masters and what it feels like for you. And having both of the energies in, I'm feeling energy coming down into my crown and up from the earth into my feet. I'm also feeling a heart expansion. I feel a gentle energy, love energy. As you hold on to that love energy of the heart and you're ready, slowly open your eyes and bring that energy back with you. Once you guys
Wonderful.
bring yourself back, let me know what you're feeling, how it came into you.
Beautiful. So heart-centered.
It's nice. I'm feeling lots of nice vibrations in my heart. Feeling the back of my heart, back in my back, behind my heart, and moving up my back a bit as well. And I feel pressure around my crown of my head.
Yeah,
Very
similar.
lovely, actually.
I feel like a ball of heart energy, or like a ball of love, like inside like my body right now, just in where my heart chakra is, and even with my solar plexus. I was also feeling that warmth and pressure too, Con, around here, this area as well. I noticed that when they first came in, but now everything's just this like, just lots of love, like right here, just sitting there. Really good energy, warm, peaceful energy, and very balanced. Like when they first came in, I felt like I couldn't distinguish between, I mean, I saw who was coming from what side, but I couldn't distinguish their energy. It just felt so balanced when they approached. Like everything was just like really balanced feeling.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Everyone in chat, let us know as well what you're sensing.
Yeah, this is the first time I've called in two. I usually just do one person at a time so I can distinguish their energy. And it's the first time actually I pulled in two at once, and it was very balanced. That's something I was like, oh yeah, they just work together.
Wonderful. So Amy is saying heart opening. I could feel them each put their hands on my shoulders. Beautiful.
I'm kind of hearing like it's because their frequency is the same, like they're on the same frequency, so it's like not, it feels very similar, their frequency, so it's hard for us to distinguish. Like, I mean, we know who that we're calling into, but like because they're on the pink ray, I feel like that's the vibration they both come with.
I got a feeling Doc has something.
Basically, I could feel Paul coming in on this side, and I could feel a heart expansion on the front with Lady Nada. It is a really lovely, gentle energy, and it's it's a very, very nice energy. I could feel the heart expansion as well on this side.
Wonderful. Oh, hi, Desiree. Desiree is in chat.
Hey,
Hi.
hey sis. Miss you already.
Absolutely. Lovely. Let's see. Oh, Grace. Grace says, I felt a strong and loving heart expansion and saw them coming above my head and showering me with pink rays of light. Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Love that.
I saw Lady Nada. She was like blowing heart kisses to everybody and like to everybody watching. I did see that.
That's nice.
Wonderful.
I feel like there's supposed to be a message that's supposed to be coming in from here. Do we have a message from Lady Nada and Paul Venetian? Anyone want to take that on? I'm looking at Doc and Rachel here. I think you each have one on both of them.
I'm just getting like a sense of her welcoming everybody. I mean, I could tune more into her energy, but when I tuned into her, that's what, like specifically, that's what I was seeing, like her just kind of welcoming and blowing kisses to everybody, heart kisses. Yeah. I don't know. Does anyone else sense anything from her?
So cool, Luna.
It's just a gentle reminder.
Distracted by the beauty of the sky, leaves, trees, breeze. Well, that's wonderful as well.
Yeah.
We
Sorry,
completely
Doc.
understand.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wendy got a heart expansion and slight head pressure on temples. Absolutely.
And Doc, you got a message for us?
Yes, it's from Lady Nada. And it's a reminder to us all that the heart is the most important part for us to be centered in this time. For it's through the heart that we can most easily connect with all that is and those around us who are not able to see through their difficulties in times to come, and also in the now moment. Much love. That's just from her.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Thanks, Doc.
Let's see. Alyssa also got heart expansion. Luna saying I'm going to watercolor in pink and green. Well, there you go.
Ooh, beautiful.
Okay, so I think it's time to do some readings. Let's see. Let me know in chat who would like a reading. And from Lady Nada and Paul the Venetian today. Heart-centered messages. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of heart expansion now.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't have anything to say because I'm just like sitting with the energy, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
So nice. It's so nice.
It is. It's a very calm.
Yeah, and it is just all around the heart, like Rachel, you said, like a ball, and it
Yeah,
just
it's like
a
it's
nice
there.
big ball.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
All right, so Christy and Khan, if you want to do the first one for Tina, be still. And whoever would like to step forward, Paul the Venetian or Lady Nada. And Rachel and Doc, if you want to do one for Wendy van Wyk. And she would love a message from Paul the Venetian.
I've got Paul the Venetian stepping forward for Tina. And
Yeah, me too.
Okay. And I can see him with his jacket, and he's almost like he's opened up his jacket and he's wrapping you in his jacket, like he's enveloping Tina in there. It's as if Tina needs a little bit of love right now, some self-love. still very hard on herself, worrying as a mother, with a lot of love, but also needs some self-love, and he's assisting you with that. So as you begin to put your mind on your heart and maybe do a little bit of mirror work and love yourself, see yourself with Paul the Venetian, that he is wrapping his love around you and comforting you, and just holding space for you as you ascend into your next level of transition. That's what's sitting with me.
Awesome, Con, because I've seen like this is almost like a cape that he's just like wrapped around her. Was the visual that I got, and he's being very stern, and he's like, be bold and go forth with your plans. They will lead you in the right direction. Don't doubt them. Be strong. Stand tall. And then he's backing away. But he's like being very firm and straightforward. But before the firmness comes out, he's like super gentle with this big, huge hug of within this cape. It's almost like he's enclosing you to protect you. So that's what I'm getting. I hope that helps.
Lovely.
Wonderful. 111s and 222s today. 111 my time. Lovely. Let's see. Then we go for Wendy van Wyk, who would like a message from Paul the Venetian, Rachel and Doug, who would like to begin. Doug, you want to begin?
I think he's muted.
I was going to say Rachel first, ladies first.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I saw you say something and I'm like, wait. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to ask Paul for a message for Wendy. He's saying, stand strong. Stand up for yourself, I'm hearing. He's saying, like, stand proud for all that you've accomplished. So the sense is like you've come a long way. You're kind of reaching a point in your life where I'm hearing admiration or admiring. So I'm trying to get clarification if that's like you're being admired or he's saying, yes, you're being like recognized or admired for, it's like you're in a new position now. You're being admired for your strength, he's saying, for your strength of heart, for your strength of character. So he's kind of clarifying now, like what the first part of the message was. I get bits and pieces, so I have to kind of put it together as we go. But yeah, so it's like you stand strong and you stand proud with the choices that you've made in your life, with the decisions that you've made. The sense is like maybe people around you haven't always agreed with your choices, but you're fearless in your strength and what you can conquer or what you have conquered. He's saying in this lifetime, you've conquered a lot and you've stood your ground on many issues. And the feeling is like you're in a place of being admired. Like maybe he's saying you're gaining wisdom also through these experiences. That's what they've helped you with. But going back to the admiration, I feel like, he's showing like a crowd standing around you and just, like admiring you or applauding you for your efforts. So the sense is like maybe you're getting recognition from people that maybe you weren't before in your life. Maybe people around you who did not agree with your choices that were tough choices that you made for yourself, the path like less taken or whatever that saying is. That's kind of the feeling, like maybe you were people didn't agree with you always on your choices, but now it feels like you're coming into a place in your life where you're getting that kind of understanding, and people are looking at you as like a wise person and someone who has been strong and true to their heart, is what he's saying. So I hope that helps for you, Wendy.
Beautiful. Doc?
Okay, the message I had quite clearly, and that it's now time to move on that particular area of work that you've been thinking about, or focusing on, or had intuition about. It's time to be fearless and go for it. Your team is around you, supporting you, as you know. But call on him. Call on him when you need more insights into this area. And in particular, using and expanding on your heart to facilitate that line of communication. And then just say, be in love, or be loved. Know that you are loved. By all. Okay, that's it. Okay. Thank you.
Beautiful. Let's see. Next round, we have Christy. If you want to do one for Grace S, she would love a message from Lady Nada. And Khan, if you want to do one for Amy Hitter, and she has a question. So I'll put it up on screen. And let's see, Doc, if you want to do the next one for Marvik. Whoever would like to step forward, Paul or Lady Nada. And Rachel, if you want to do one for Alyssa Watling. And let's see, Alyssa says, I would like a career message unless a different message comes through. Please and thank you. So whoever would like to step forward for that one. So Christy can start whenever she is ready.
This is for Grace, right? From Lady Nada.
Grace S. Yeah, I put it up on screen.
Grace, I'm getting she's sending a lot of love to you. She's saying that you've been having some feelings of unworthiness, and she is sending love to you to fill in that space, to replace those feelings.
Open this palm.
And she's asking that you take some time for yourself.
But it's not open.
Multitasking.
Yeah. I've got voices coming from everywhere here. She's saying take some time for yourself and to practice some breathing routines that you have been experiencing some anxiety lately and just need to calm down and relax and go with the flow. And she is supporting you through all of this. And she wants you to know that you can ask for her presence anytime. She is always there with you, but she wants you to feel her presence so that you know she is there. And she's stepping back.
Beautiful.
Hope that helps.
Next one for Amy Hitter. Khan?
Mm-hmm. I have Lady Nada stepping forward for Amy. And I'm hearing the sickness with the virus that's there. the stress and worry is really from external sources and what you're hearing in media, what the world is kind of exasperate or put into your mind to build up the fear that's happening here, and it's creating more fear and stress with something that's would not be an issue. Anytime your child would be sick in the past, it would be just treating your child with love and it will pass. As will this will pass just as well with your loving, nurturing and parenting and taking care of your child as you've always done. What you need to do is remove the fear from you and go back to love. Fear has no place, cannot occupy the same space as love. That's just Khan talking now. Go back to the love. Go back to the love of a parent. Go back to the love of treating your child with love, and go back to just taking care of your child as you normally would. This is something that will pass very easily. This is not something your child to be affected with and worry about. Just go back to love, let go of the worry, and just take care of your child as you normally would. This is something very simple, and your child is very resilient in getting past this. Do not let the fear to make this worse. And that's a very clear message that I'm getting for everybody that's kind of experiencing this. The fear that's been created by the society is making everything multiplied with worry and fear. So you're getting sicker just from the worry. So come back to love, bring yourself heart-centered, and all this will pass. Let it get back to our heart.
Beautiful. Next one for Marvik. Whoever would like to step forward for Marvik Duck. You're muted, Duck.
Sorry, we've got these dogs here that are
Yeah.
So the message I had from her was to draw a card, and this one jumped out. Okay. It says, basically, it's what do you desire? And just trying to read this in the gloom, you have the opportunity to write the script according to what your heart's true desires are. And I guess it goes back to the heart chakra and to Lady Nada and Paul the Venetian. And it's really, so the message is really to sit with yourself, open up, and feel in your heart. What is it that you really desire? One way you can do this, as you know, is to look for heart expansion when you think of the particular area or thing that you desire. Be careful to make sure that which you desire is for you and you alone, and not those around you, as you are apt to do, and is often the role that you have taken, and you wish to do so. So the word that's come up is me time. Focus on that which you really want. Okay, that's the message. Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Then for Alyssa, Rachel, whoever would like to step forward.
Hi, Alyssa. Paul Venetian definitely was the louder of the two coming in for you. So I heard him. So I kind of started writing his message down. And as I started writing it down, it started coming in real fast. And I was like, oh, wow, you have a lot to say. But okay, so about the message about your career, this is just what he started saying. So he said, paint with all the colors on your brush. He's calling you a master painter. He's saying, go with the flow, seek adventure, take risks, don't be complacent, be self-assured, unrestricted in your countenance, understanding in your heart, fearless in your mission, and look beyond the mundane to find your truth. So that was kind of where I I was starting to run out of room on my paper. So I was like, okay, Paul, thank you for all of that. So I will now take a moment to just kind of tune in a little bit more again and see if there's any clarification he would like to add. But I see him like pushing you from behind. He's kind of urging you to just take action steps and just go where your heart wants to take you, and be fearless. He's really highlighting that with you, be fearless. And the sense is like taking risks. And when I was writing this message down, I was getting a sense when he said, like, be adventurous, like that the feeling is like, go out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, to find your truth, to find your path, because you're restricting the flow. There's this flow wants to take you somewhere, and I feel like you're kind of holding back. You're holding back. There's a part of you that's resistant to take that risk or to take that step or leap of faith forward. He's saying, so he's highlighting the heart for you. Like there might be some blocks there. He's saying to go within and to uncover those a little bit, to really get real with yourself and ask yourself, like, what's holding you back? What are you afraid of? And he's saying, by acknowledging those fears, they won't be so scary anymore. So he's saying he wants you to look. He's showing you, like, look at the devil straight in the eye and just say, you're not afraid. You're not afraid anymore. You accept the challenge. So he's wanting you to just go for it. So whatever you're feeling called to do, that might be scary to you, I feel like that's where they want you to go with it. The sense is like, he's saying you're here to take risks. You're here to like live a life of adventure and freedom and fun. And if your heart's not in it, you're not going to feel connected to yourself. You're not going to feel connected to that side of yourself. So really, he's highlighting playful adventure for you, whatever feels like a playful adventure, even if it's off course from like what everybody or what society might view you to be or want you to do. That the feeling is just go that road, go like that, take the adventure road, take that path for you. That's really what is going to bring the most sense of joy. And he's saying fulfillment and enlightenment in your life. So I hope that helps you, Alyssa.
Wonderful. We have time for one more. So for Carrie Howard, Christy, whoever would like, from Paul. She would love a message from Paul today.
Actually, if someone else would like to take her, I got a message that came in from Luna's question.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So Khan can do for Carrie then.
It's just a real quick. Paul came in and he said, there is no unconditional way of living. When your heart is guiding you, there is no limits. There is no wrong or right way, only the path that you have chosen. And so he was pushing me to get that out to you. So I wanted to let you know. Hope that helps.
Wonderful. And then the final one for Carrie. A message from Paul the Venetian.
I'm almost feeling a slight pullback, as if, Carrie, you're not really letting your full self step forward, and there's some resistance in opening up or stepping forward or doing something. And I feel a resistance and a separation from yourself, and a separation from your heart. That it's almost like you're escaping from your emotions, you're escaping from your feelings. And he's encouraging you, and I can see him now with his cloak wrapped around you, coming closer to you, not quite doing a full wrap, but almost just on your back with one arm, and to give you a little bit of comfort and reminder to get back into your heart. To go into your heart to get the answers that you're looking for. It's almost like there's something you want to do. There's something you need to do, but you're hesitant. It almost seems like there's peer pressure or societal pressure on you from following the path that you really want to follow. and they're you define the answer that you're looking for. Don't escape for it. Sit with the feeling. Sit with the feeling of this awkward position that you're in. Sit with that feeling and deal with that feeling, and you'll find the answers that you need. So go into the feeling, feel it, whatever is holding you back, whatever this conflict is, sit with it, experience it without actually experiencing it. And that's the message I'm getting for you from Paul, Carrie. I hope that resonates.
Beautiful. All right, that was all the time we have today. So I'll give it to Christy for the closing words.
Doc, if you have something you'd like to say, go ahead. But you are muted. There you go.
I just had to. While Khan was delivering that message, 2 words came in. It's be bold, Carrie. Be bold. Okay.
Beautiful.
Don't let it hold you back. Anyway, carry on. Over to you, Christy. Sorry, and thanks.
All right. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming today. And I want to say from all of us to Desiree that we love you and we wish you the best with your journeys. And we're always here for you, always.
Absolutely.
And I want to see if anyone has any announcements for the following next week for upcoming few days or anything they got going on. Con, I know you have your noon and midnight messages.
Yeah, I definitely have my noon. So I'll be back on here at 12 midnight on connight.com. Take you to my YouTube channel. So I'll be back here at midnight to do the heart coherence. I'm doing that at 12 and midnight every day. And I'm just working out with William Michael Forbes to get that on the 1 Billion Strong, make the connection. So it'll be moved over to the 1 Billion Strong YouTube channel. But I will make sure there's links here for that. And my next event would be here on Friday. So I'll be back here Friday, and I'll be channeling Eric and friends to Ask Spirit. So come back here, come back to connight.com and join me, and I'll answer your questions for a good hour plus. And that's it for me.
And what time is that, Con? Because I have an event on Fridays. I had to switch my events. So
So mine's at 12 Eastern, which is 9 a.m. Mountain time. Mountain Standard Time. So different. Go ahead.
Yeah. I thought it was earlier, but I just was double checking. So I have a private Facebook group called Intuitive Soul Rising, and I do host some live events there, mostly practice channeling sessions. I have one event that's been going for a while. It's a weekly event. Each week we bring in different ascended masters. So we've been following the outline in Kyle Gray's book, Divine Masters, Ancient Wisdom. And we're going into week 9 of that, which we only have 11 weeks. But anyways, I've had to switch the time of that multiple times throughout since we've started because of just so many schedule changes and things coming up. So the new time for that is going to be Fridays at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So feel free to check out the link in the box below to figure out how to join that group. And it's a free event, so it'll go live in that group at that time.
Doc, do you have anything coming up?
I've got a wedding, a funeral, and a bar mitzvah, but let's talk about later. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be fun. Look forward to seeing you next week then.
Yes, and we miss Martine again this week. She will be back.
Yep.
She's just had a few things come up, and so we'll see her, I think, next week.
Yeah, happy birthday to Martine's hubby.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. If I haven't forgotten anything, are we good? I think we're
good.
We're good.
Till next week. So we will see you guys then. Have a wonderful week. We love you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.